Hey folks, Moose here. Well, I posted this photograph a few days ago and I said I want to talk about it just a little bit more in depth to give you a little more feeling for the D4 and what it can do with exposure range. This is the photograph. I'm just going to double click on it in Mini Bridge, bringing up Adobe Camera Raw 7.1. And this is a shot. It's shot in Sanford's Grub and Bar in Rapid City, South Dakota. It's a great little place. I've been there for a long time. You can see it's full of character. Okay, now I want to process this. Now here's the first deal. Okay, so I shot with the D4. I cranked up the ISO to 800 because really, it's a bar. Noise, it's not really a big issue, if there is any, and there isn't any. Okay, D4 does a great job on that. I shot with a 24-1.4 and I closed the lens down to f4 because I really didn't need a whole lot of depth of field with the 24mm lens. I just wanted that 60th second because I wanted to freeze the television, little details. So processing it. Now it's a single click. Okay, I'm in Adobe Camera Raw. You can see it's a NEF file. Single click. Now Adobe HDR. Why do you apply it? Now most people realize I'm not a big Elvis on Velvet. Everything's got to be shot with HDR fan. I'm more into a realistic look. But there's not all this neon there, all this kind of really funky lighting and chrome. It just had that HDR feel to it from the get-go. Now I'm going to process it. First thing I'm going to do is come over and click on my preset. Okay, if you don't know how to do this, check out the video on the website. I'm going to sit there and just click on my D4 Vivid website. And with that, boom. Okay, just that quickly, I processed the raw file. All right, now when I did that, Vivid adds a little contrast to the scene. So the information in the ceiling, okay, the shadow area, disappeared. A little bit lost in the highlights. Not a big deal. Okay, that's why ACR 7.1 really rocks. And the D4 with its expanded range of 6 stops makes all this happen. Okay, so my shadows, take the shadow slider and go, bring it up to taste. Okay, you look at the shadows up here, just that fast. Boink. Okay, boink. I love it. Highlights, bring them down a little bit if you want. Okay, here's the before, here's the after. You can't process a file any faster, especially looking at that HDR stuff. Now, I'm going to take the blacks down just a tad. That's just my own personal preference. And tad is my favorite measurement, before and after. Okay, just like that. I'm going to open the object. It's going to bring in the Photoshop. And what I'm going to do here is what? I'm going to sit there and give it that little bit of a HDR look, I guess you could call it. I'm going to create a layer. I'm going to go and rasterize that layer so I can go into my favorite program, NYX Color Effects 4. Over there, I'm going to sit there and go to Glamour Glow. Glamour Glow is this great thing, and it's going to give the photograph that kind of HDR looky kind of stuff. Now, you can go real crazy, right? You can sit there and make that stuff really go kind of really on the far side. I'm not going to go that far. I'll click this on and off, just take a look at it. Okay, shadows, I'm going to do a little bit more of the highlights, a little bit less in the shadows. Okay, and all I'm going to do is give it that little bit of a fuzzy look that HDR has. And when I did that little bit of fuzzy look, what I'm going to do, I'm going to sit there and take and grab my levels. And I'm just going to make sure that the blacks are coming down a little bit. Black's such an important part, especially with all that color. And I want to make sure my blacks that are in there, all 3 of them, are really kind of like accounted for. Bring that down just a tad. Okay? That's it. That's simple. One click HDR, but it's not HDR. Okay? It's just the magic of the D4, that 6-stop range, coupled with the, I think, incredible math in Adobe Camera Raw 7.1 that you find in Lightroom 4 or CS6 or Photoshop or Bridge. Hopefully it helps. Enjoy, and have a tall one on me.